Welcome to the March for Science Media Zone Women on the Frontline series. We are so excited to be amplifying and highlighting voices from some of the most incredible moves and amazing men across the country. I'm so excited to be joined today by Congresswoman Deb Haaland. She is, as most people know, she is one of two of the first Native women elected to the United States Congress. And just so very excited to have you with us today. Welcome, Congresswoman Haaland.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
We're just going to jump right in. And as I mentioned, you were one of the first Native American women to be elected to the United States Congress. And we see the amazing work that you're doing. But can you share with us why you decided to run for Congress in the first place? And what was that process, literally making the decision? What was that like?
Right. Well, I've worked on a lot of campaigns. I started out as a phone volunteer, and now I'm a member of Congress. And so I've worked on a lot of campaigns. I've worked on campaigns that have won. I've worked on campaigns that have lost. I've worked extremely hard for months and months as a full-time volunteer. I just felt like when I was thinking about this position, the first thing I asked myself was, can I win? Because I felt like if I couldn't win, I felt like there'd be no sense in me running. As it turned out, we felt very strongly, after I spoke with some members of my family and my close friends who I've worked on many campaigns with in the past, we felt like we could raise the money and put together a team. Once we decided that, I just felt very strongly that because there had never been a Native American woman in Congress, that perhaps my voice, a single mom, daughter of military veterans, a Pueblo woman who, remembers being with my grandmother in her village without running water or electricity until the mid-70s, going to the field with my grandfather, planting corn. I just felt like all of these collective experiences helped me to realize what it was like for the vast majority of folks in my district. And I just felt very strongly that people need somebody they can identify with. People need someone who understands what it's like for them. That's what representation is. That it was something I would do.
Congresswoman, as you look around and see the position that we're in, the battle fighting, it's easy to sometimes get lost in the despair. But can you share with us what gives you hope?
Thank you. If I ever lost hope, I would just hang it up. I feel like we always need hope. And I believe that's what my ancestors had when they were fighting drought, when they were fighting famine. They felt this very strong obligation to do everything they possibly could to survive, to persevere, to make opportunities for family. They worked that hard because they believed in a future that they could create for their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. And if I lose hope, I feel like I'm letting down. I have to honor the legacy that my grandparents prepared for me. And if I don't do that, then it's almost like I'm not meeting my obligation. So I will always have hope that we can make a better world. And I believe we absolutely can.
Thank you so much for sharing. And your hope makes me hopeful. So thank you. As you know, and we discussed, the series is centered around women equality and importantly, shining a light on the true history of the country so that we can acknowledge the incredible work that's been done, but also acknowledge the work that's been done, names and women and people who are known and sometimes even unknown. Can you tell us about a woman or women who may have a story that's untold but inspires you?
Oh, absolutely. And lots of, it wasn't until I decided to run for this federal office. I ran for lieutenant governor back in 2014. That was a statewide office in New Mexico. So I traveled statewide and really met a lot of New Mexicans. But when I decided to run for this office, because we're in DC and we're making laws for the entire country, and we are, I just felt like I wanted to reach out more. I was put in touch with this woman called Julie Johnson. She's from the Lummi Nation in Washington, and she has been helping Native women for decades and decades without fanfare, without acknowledgement, without recognition. She has always felt like Native women belonged in public office. They were born leaders, that they should have opportunities. And so when I met Julie, she immediately launched into action. She helped me to raise money for my campaign. She wrote letters for me. She talked about me. She did whatever she could to help me get elected. And I just, there's so many women just like Julie Johnson all over the country who believe strongly that women of color deserve to have a seat at the table. And from their own backgrounds, from their own personal history, they know that women have been left out of far too much, and they want to do everything they possibly can to ensure that that we have a voice. And I just think that those selfless actions by women lifting up other women is pretty amazing. And that's exactly who Julie Johnson is.
Thank you so much for that unbelievably important reminder too, that we are to lift each other up and hold each other up and be true sisters. So thank you so much, Congresswoman Deb Haaland, joining us today, for being such a fierce champion of women and just everywhere. Thank you so much.